order for July
Fishing.
26,
So the baseball
2022. The current time now is 6 o'clock. I'll have the prayer by Councilman Trahan and the pledge by Councilman Olivier. Councilman Trahan.
Father, Son, Holy Spirit, amen. Our
Lord in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Amen.
Everyone face the flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Madam Clerk, please initiate the roll call.
Tommy Pollard. Here. Michael Landry.
Here.
Marcus Broussard. Here. Lloyd Brown.
Here.
Warren Gotchison.
Here.
Natalie Broussard. Here. Paul Landry.
Yo.
James Trahan.
Here.
Scott Rossene.
Here.
Eugene Olivier.
Here.
Brian Napier. Lady Fontenay Brown. Scott Saunier.
Here.
Chad Marchogrant.
Here.
12 members in a quorum. I need a motion to go into public comments. I have a motion by Councilman Pollard, second by Councilman Rossini. Roll call, members. Vote your machines. Yeah, that little piece.
All right,
Councilman Saunier?
wait.
That motion carries unanimously. We're now in public comments. Number one, Madam Clerk.
Comments from the general public on agenda items.
I did not receive any requests. I need a motion to go back into regular session. I have a motion by Councilman Olivier and a second by Councilman Pollard. Vote your machines, members. Councilman Brown?
If I can get it. Hold still. All right.
That motion carries unanimously. We're now back into regular session. Moving on to community events and public service announcements. There is none. Reports from finance and administrative actions. There is none. Reports from parish or other governmental agencies. Number one, Madam Clerk.
Mr. Craig Romero, Executive Director of the Port of Iberia, to address the council regarding a foreign trade zone application for Global Risers USA LLC.
Members, unfortunately, Director Romero was not able to be with us tonight, but he did send over a short video that he wanted you guys to watch before he sends over the foreign trade zone for us to discuss and vote.
Good.
Mr. Brown's on the road tonight.
But that's often not the case. Costs associated with Riser continue to increase. Poor aftermarket support, inefficient maintenance programs, high shipping and handling costs, increased downtime, management of multiple vendors. This results in higher costs being passed on to drilling contractors. Here at Global Riser, Riser is our core business. We have designed an agile model that reduces costly overheads while offering fixed costs on all services anywhere in the world. This allows us to pass on huge savings to our customers while covering a larger area of support than our competitors. Here's how it works. We support rig reactivation to operations, maintenance, and preservation. In this example, a rig is being reactivated in Brazil to go into operation in India via Singapore. Global Riser dispatches a team to start cleaning and inspecting your riser on sale. If any riser requires remanufacture and spare parts, we can react to this as soon as it happens to ensure the parts are ordered and Global Riser's facility in Singapore is prepared for incoming workload. On arrival at Global Riser's facility in Singapore, all your logistical requirements, remanufacture and buoyancy repairs are supported. When the rig moves to India, Global Riser will be there to support all your riser needs over the length of the contract, including between well maintenance, storage and preservation, repair and remanufacture, and recertification. In the case where maintenance and inspection equipment to the rig's destination are unavailable, containerized support services are mobilized even before the rig arrives in the country. Global Riser assures quality, reliability, and best-in-class service standards throughout the riser's life. By constantly collecting data and implementing lateral learning via our industry-leading QMS and condition-based maintenance program, the Optimum Program. Global Riser prides itself on its ever-expanding global footprint. Our strategically located facilities in major hubs and containerized support at remote locations saves drilling contractors shipping costs whilst improving the quality and reliability of their riser. Global Riser, your exclusive riser servicing partner.
Members, the FTZ application will be for the former FTZ for Frank's case, and that yard is being purchased by them. And Mr. Romero is asking that that he'll come in, I believe, the next meeting or meeting after, and start the application process between us and other governmental agencies. Is there any questions? Hearing none, moving on to Public Works reports, Madam Clerk.
Public Works Department report for closed work orders dated June 28th through July 11th, 2023.
Special business, there is none. Council member announcements. Members? I do have one by Councilman Olivier. It's recognized.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to take a moment to talk to everyone about the NACO conference in Austin, Texas this past week. This is a report I put together to kind of let y'all know what went on at the conference. The 2023 NACO annual conference was scheduled on July the 21st through the 24th in Travis County, Texas, better known as Austin, Texas. Arriving on July the 20th, my first meeting prior to the conference started at 4:00 p.m. in the afternoon with the membership committee, which I serve. We prepared to welcome some 2,600 country officials from around the U.S., parishes from across the country as well, to the conference. About 2,000 officials actually showed up at the conference this year in Austin, Texas. They had about 560 first-time attendees showed up at the conference, including some first-time attendees from Louisiana as well. On Friday, when the conference really started for me with the Transportation Committee meeting, but before the meeting, we had a first-time attendee breakfast where I serve as an ambassador for NACO. We had a breakfast table where I met with a group of about 5 county officials from around the U.S., and we had a chance to talk about NACO, talk about the benefits of NACO, and talk about some of the good value they can get out of the NACO program. After breakfast, the first time attendee meeting, I started my day with the Transportation Committee meeting, which I serve as vice chair. The meeting began at 9:30 a.m. and finished about 5:00 p.m. that day. A full day of policy briefings, guest speakers, and NACO staff briefings as well. The committee passed 10 proposed platform changes and/or resolutions. Later spent the evening sharing information with other officials from around the country. On Saturday, started at 8:00 in the morning, meeting with the Gulf State countries and parish caucus meeting, more guest speakers covering topics such as carbon capture, coastal oyster recovery, coastal resiliency, the Restore Act, National Flood Insurance Program. Later that day, I attended the Resilience County meeting and advisory board, which again, I serve on that particular board. We discussed things of planning for disaster in housing after a disaster. Then off to the RAC meeting, Rural Action Caucus meeting. I serve as vice chair. More guest speakers, more policy briefing, covered the Farm Bill, reauthorization of the Farm Bill, which expires on September the 30th, 2023. There was a lot of discussion about the Farm Bill. Private and public partnership was discussed with broadband development. Louisiana was recognized for having one of the leading states on broadband across the country, and what we're doing with the Gumbo Pact in Louisiana. Other topics was ensuring pathways ensuring pathways from generational poverty into prosperity, combating substance abuse in rural areas as well. Also had a section on heavy truck provisions in the Farm Bill we discussed. Following that, another membership meeting. Following that, an immigration task force meeting. Now that was very interesting. I've been serving on the immigration task force for several years with NACO. We have a lot of Zoom meetings as well, throughout the year. We had a chance to be educated from people on the ground at the border, actually. The people gave us updates from Homeland Security, Border Protection, enforcement officers, various nonprofit organizations who provide services to the immigrants,
cross-border policies, federal immigration policies that we discussed, Title 42, which you might have heard a lot about. And we also talked about efforts in the 118th Congress that's trying to pass new immigration policies in Washington right now. Sunday, July the 23rd, I began my day with a live stream of the Catholic Mass. Later that day, we went to the NACO's Achievement Award Luncheon in general session. Countries from around the United States was recognized for their achievements throughout the past year. Our guest speaker was two of them, Alan Goldston. He's the president, U.S. Program Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. We also heard from Joan Thunder, award-winning journalist and best-selling author and television host. And of course, every afternoon we got a chance to meet with other elected officials from around the country to talk about problems we're having in our local government, how they're solving those issues, and just kind of sharing ideas, which is a big part of NACO. On Monday, we had our 23rd annual business meeting and election. Our new NACO president from Ramsey County Commissioner, Mary Jo McGuire from Minnesota. Our vice president, Supervisor James Gore from Sonoma Country, California. And our second vice president from Wise County, Texas, Judge J.D. Clark. Monday afternoon, we spent the day with the South Regional Caucus meeting. We elected Ron Berry from Tennessee as our chairman. And later that day, we had an all-conference closing reception at the Austin City Limits Moody Theater, which was very nice, had a live band, plenty of food. It was a real good way to unwind after the conference. Great conference. I really wish many of you would have the opportunity to go to one of these conferences. I think it's well worth it. The educational value is superb. And it wouldn't hurt to maybe send some of our staff every now and then to a NACO conference. So I think they'll get a lot out of it. You know, we can't give them raises. That was something we talked about when we was over there. How do you incentivize an employee to work for local government? You know, this might be a way for us to incentivize an employee by sending them to some educational conference throughout the year, whether it's the Police Jury Association or some type of national conference. Mr. Chairman, that's my report.
Thank you, sir. Hearing no other requests, we'll move on to parish president announcements. Mr. Belanger.
Good evening. President Reshaw would like for me to announce the following update on roads and bridges. The Mullins Road Bridge, we're still working on the design. The survey is complete on Lobby Road Bridge. The design is actually 40% complete at the moment. Vita Shaw Bridge, we've got field survey work that's been completed. The engineers are currently drafting a hydraulic survey. Lobby Road, the asphalt's been laid. We're just waiting on the striping now. In litter abatement, Saturday, July 15th, our crews picked up a total of 41 bags of trash and tires. Trash was picked up on Admiral Doyle in between Landry Drive and Highway 88. And that's all I got.
Short and sweet.
Yes, sir.
All right, hearing no other announcements from the parish president, moving on to consent agenda items for public hearing and adoption. We have the minutes of regular meeting of July 12, 2023. Summary number 138, introduced by Eugene Olivier, Senior of District 10. Madam Clerk.
A resolution of appreciation and congratulations to Ms. Kathy Miles, Director of Libraries with Iberia Parish Government, upon her retirement from the parish with 36 years of service.
Summary 139, introduced by the parish president.
Resolution amending 2023 royalty fund budget in the amount of $308,000 to accept FEMA funding from state GOSEF for Bayou Park Purdue Regional Detention Facility for Phase 1 activities associated with the project and appropriate expenditures for said project.
Summary number 140, introduced by the parish president.
A resolution amending the 2023 drug court fund budget in the amount of $224,625 to recognize fiscal year 2023 through 2024 grant award from Louisiana Supreme Court. Total grant award is $456,000 for expenditures incurred from July 2023 to June 2024 program year. The remainder of funding will be recognized in fiscal year 2024.
Summary number 141, introduced by the parish
A
president.
resolution authorizing the filing of an application with the Louisiana Department of Transportation and Development for a grant under any of the following FTA programs managed through Louisiana Department of Transportation and Development, SMILE operating.
Summary number 142, introduced by the parish president.
A resolution amending 2023 royalty fund budget in an amount of $465,000 to appropriate GOMESA funding to the Jefferson Canal South Water Control Structure Project.
Summary number 143, introduced by Airport Authority.
A resolution declaring various fuel tanks as surplus property and further authorizing disposal of same in accordance with parish policy and state law as requested by the Iberia Parish Airport Authority.
Summary number 144, introduced by the parish president.
A resolution granting substantial completion to the Jefferson Canal North Water Control Structure, all as completed by Southern Construction LLC and as recommended by Royal Engineers and Consultants LLC.
Let the record reflect that Lady Brown is in attendance. I have a motion by Councilman Olivier and a second by Councilman Brown. Councilman Olivier,
I'd like to pull 138. I'd like to ask for a unanimous second on that.
for what purpose does the gentleman wish?
Because of her 38 years of service in Iberia Parish.
To discuss it?
I think it's deserving.
Okay.
38. Okay. Sorry.
Councilman Brown? Councilman Brown waves. Anyone else in the request to remove agenda item?
I'd like to take 139.
I have a request by Councilman Landry to remove 139. For what purpose?
Trying to stretch the meeting a little longer so that
Without objection. Hearing no other requests, the rest we will vote on except for the omission of 138 and 139. Roll call vote, members. Vote your machines. That motion carries unanimously. Going back to 138, introduced by Eugene Olivier, District 10. Have a motion by Councilman Olivier. Do I have a second? Second by Councilwoman Broussard. Councilman Olivier on discussion.
Yes, after 36 years of service at our in Iberia Parish government, I think this resolution deserves a second, substantial second motion for it. Unanimous second. I'm
Okay,
sorry.
well, I'm gonna give the floor to Councilwoman Broussard. Just press your button again for, if you wanna go ahead and have a motion on the floor for unanimous second by Councilman Olivier. Do I have a second? Have a second by Councilwoman Broussard. Any discussion? Hearing none, vote your machines, members. That motion carries unanimously. Congratulations, Ms. Miles. Summary number 139, introduced by the parish president. Do I have a motion to open? Have a motion by Councilman Landry, second by Councilman Olivier. Councilman Landry on discussion.
I know we had been talking about a detention pond down in that Park Patu area, but can we get a little more definitive of where it's at and maybe how many acres or,
That would be a question for the administration. Boy, at this time, are you prepared to answer that?
No, sir, I'm not.
We-
We got it the next meeting.
we
Okay,
could
for
get it
final
next
adoption is tonight. Did you want to?
No, I'm good with it. Maybe they could send us a little, package on it and stuff like that.
Okay, not a problem. You finished?
Is that-
Go ahead.
Chad, is that kind of trying to take some of the water that's coming from Youngsville and kind of holding it up so it doesn't back
Supposed to
into?
be part of that project, but it's been a while since we've gotten it updated.
Yeah.
So, kind of like-
And I think it said phase one. Do we know how many phases there's going to be in that?
Councilman, hold on one second. If you can, put Mr. Macheran's, I'm sorry, Chad, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's part of that. In fact, Youngsville's developed two of their ponds, and we're still behind the eight ball a little bit, so an update on that would be pretty nice.
Councilman Landry, did you finish?
No, I'd just like to get some information, and I really believe that this is kind of some of the stuff like, we have that subdivision in the Coto area that's coming out. I call it the McLean one. That, sometimes if we're going to have, drainage issues and stuff like that, I think we ought to look at buying up 2, 3, 4 acres. I'm not an engineer on that, but I think we need to start doing that so that we're not scaring all the people that live there, about developments coming. We could hire some more grass cutters.
That's in the process. Councilman Landry yields back. Councilman Olivier is recognized on discussion.
Yeah, I know that those retention ponds are a valuable part of our drainage system, and I think in planning and zoning does recognize the fact that, when we lose green space, we need place for the water to go. And I'm sure we can continue having that conversation, as we go in the future, but as we develop more and more properties. But you're right, Paul, it is essential we have that green space available for retention. Thank you.
Councilman Saunier on discussion?
Yeah, if y'all could, Gene may be able to answer, but I'm with Paul. Phase 1, I think that the design of the actual structure, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know if they've identified the exact location, but it's more than 2 or 3 acres. I mean, these are large structures that are going to be put in place. I think, I agree with Paul too. We don't want to slow this down, but I think Fence the Maker is the engineering group that's doing this.
Correct.
So Zach should be able to send us something on that. Yeah. Yeah, because I don't know, again, I don't know if they've identified properly. I would like to know, like, exactly what's taking place in phase 1 so we understand where the money's going. That's it.
Mr. Belanger, can you get that update for us? Yes, sir. Thank you. Hearing no other discussion, roll call vote, vote your machines, members. Summary 139. Councilman Brown? That motion carries unanimously. Moving on to ordinances introduced for public hearing and adoption, there is none. Resolutions introduced for public hearing and adoption, there is none. Ordinances introduced for publication. Summary number 5252, introduced by our Regional Planning Commission, just for publication, members. Madam Clerk.
An ordinance approving the reclassification request for the property of Roger Duncan, located on Olivia Road, New Iberia, Louisiana, from C2 commercial to R4 manufactured home located in District 14, subject to compliance with Zoning Commission staff report ZC 2023-0005. All is reviewed and recommended by the Iberia Parish Regional Planning Commission.
Summary number 5253, introduced by our Regional Planning Commission.
An ordinance granting a variance to the property located at 5106 Highway 14 in District 13 for the installation of a Munopole billboard on .520 acres tract, subject to compliance with Zoning Commission staff report ZC 2023-0006. All is reviewed and recommended by the Iberia Parish Regional Planning Commission.
Just to remind the general public that our next meeting is August 9th, 2023, and that adjudicated properties are still available on our website at iberiaparishgovernment.gov. I'll need a motion by Trahan and a second by Rawson to adjourn. Roll call. Yeah, we did. Yeah, we voted on the 2. Yes, sir. We did. Vote your machines, members, on adjournment. The motion to adjourn is adopted unanimously.